very quick
reversal. Remind looking for the save, but that Riptide Rhythm gonna make sure the glue walls cannot be erected around Sifu for the time being. In the meantime, Ma'al going in for the flank. Dudes going in for the finisher. Time Turner was erected. Great glue wall to protect the boys. And now Dudes all alone in the situation. Dragons can take advantage.
Let's see if
there you
RQ
go.
can pull it off again. There's a Time Turner. Dudes 1v2. Kiba is gonna back him up. Great acceptance from Dudes. And now going on to revive another glue wall to block out the damage. Round the corner, Dudes goes.
Are you kidding me?
Another knockdown. This guy is on a rampage.
Freaking hell, 5 eliminations for Dudes. There ain't no stopping it. Ma'al, the sniper of the squad, taking a 1v2. Wall gets sprayed down by Yasser and his Bison. But of course, Dudes still alive and kicking. Dragon looking for that recovery on the revive. But of course, Dudes still alive and kicking. Dragon looking for that recovery on the revival. Glue wall melter not in their pockets. And the deep freeze will tag up Yasser for quite a bit. And Dudes with the RGS 50. Trying to use whatever in his arsenal to take down the rest of the team members. But I think he's used up quite a bit of his luck already.
It's down to Dudes once more. Abai not in a condition to fight. In fact, he's not even going to share the area. 1v3. Time Turner from. See if that rooftop takeover is going to be beneficial for Pain Gaming. As Vitality, they are still in a pretty decent condition, trying to go around the backside of the building. Good wins that one. Kyung ends up going down. Pain Gaming now have a numbers advantage. Vitality attempting to go for a revive, but the pickup is unsuccessful. Koja and Kyung now out of service. Pain Gaming continues to systematically get rid of Vitality, and it might just come down to Dix with the Trogon. 2 from Pain down.
Peter literally ran in there and walked away without a single scratch. The pickup onto his buddy failing. 2v1. Pain Gaming in a lot of trouble here. If they do lose Peter, they will be on a super hard reset. And Vitality actually allows him to get away as they look for their own recovery play here as well. Either way, both squads inside of the circle, and Pain has a vending machine to play with.
And earlier on, we did say that R7, they were flirting with a bit of conflict with Fluxo and Buriram. Now R7 is in the same area as Buriram United Esports. Big revive hit by Pain Gaming. The scan was there by Vitality early on. His EVOS makes a full recovery, gets an air supply, and that's gonna stock them up to make their rotation deeper towards the safe zone.
And the dangerous team, I was about to mention them, lost. Finding Peter early on. Falcons, that's not an elimination just yet though, just a shot from afar. Ross making sure everybody still remembers them. He's one of the front runners here at Purgatory. But Buriram still being alive, this should be a record for them at this map. Let's see if they can find a little bit more. Falcons not wanting to mess around with the Brazilian squad. Jump pads their way out of there, but on fire, left behind here.
See if
might just be the sacrificial lap.
Being surprised we're paying. Good shot from Nando Nai. So another 3 points for Lost. Falcons did get majority of the squad away to keep this going.
Really? Is he going to go in for the chase here?
Nah.
Running straight to the jump pad though.
It would be a risky move. They might end up running into Pain Gaming instead.
Yeah, it would be a terrible move. A little late to the party. You know Falcons can shoot them out of the skies, but of course boys are looking for a little bit of a revival here. EVOS on the other hand, meeting their big brothers RRQ. A poke in the hornet's nest early here. Very cheeky from EVOS.
And you know that wherever Dragon Esports is right now is a high priority area, because there were 2 R1 scans right on top of them. So Dragon Esports, they obviously don't know this, but we know one of the teams that won that spot is EVOS.
Yeah.
They're going to slowly move towards the area. There's an arsenal to work with. It's a pit stop. But it seems like EVOS are deciding against that, in fact, falling further away from the circle.
And we might just have a rematch here between RRQ and EVOS. Both teams have recovered fully, but as RRQ goes in from the rotation from Brasilia, looking for fields, coming across the rotation path of EVOS is just extremely high here.
Wow.
Dragons on the other hand keeping their heads down, trying not to be detected by the players of Buriram, who do have their hands full with R7.
Yeah, there's a UAV just hovering around that crucial zone as well. I believe 4 teams at least. Core Memory, R7, BRU, Dragons, and now Fluxo is about to join the party. This next circle will dictate how that one's going to play out. Favoring BRU, R7, and Core Memory, AGAL on the southern side, Falcons and Pain Gaming on north. And this is where the great rumbling begins. All the teams are going to converge, and we're going to have a full 48-player lobby to cover. And now you got to use as much resources as possible. One last glue off for Yasir. If they can make it into the building, there is going to be a chance. And Mark needs some cover. Great coverage from Yasir to keep his buddy alive. The run now is a bit harder for DRG because they have lost 2 members, but at least they still have a chance to spoil R7.
Seal, you cannot miss those shots, buddy. Gets a couple of tags onto their backs, and then R7 backs away. Had the golden opportunity. Yasir, 3 eliminations so far, just could not get those accurate connections onto the players of R7, and Mexico gets to play a little bit more. He was fighting Fluxo from afar. Raja's gonna cry now on stage.
This is going to be incredibly important for Fluxo to survive, but the off does go down. Watches it and Bob's removed. GU, he's just barely hanging on, but thankfully he was able to heal back up. They are tagging the blue, and EVOS is not going to let them go easily.
No, not at all, man. I mean, Fluxo, when they go in for this rotation, they have to go up against Buriram and Core Memory. EVOS at the very edge of this next circle. For the time being, the blues not hurting them just yet. But you can see the jump pad set up behind Fluxo. And EVOS not going in for the reposition, taking down those glue walls, so they have a straight line of sight to that jump pad. And I don't think Fluxo has got enough money to buy another one. So GGWP. But thankfully the blue forcing EVOS for a rotation. Fluxo gets to live a little bit longer, but the blue is getting the damage in though.
Yeah, the safe zone did move away eventually from BRU, so that's going to force the Thai Giants to rotate as well. The rematch that you mentioned between EVOS and RQ feels like it is destined to happen as EVOS makes a southward rotation. They're going to end up behind RQ, who are preoccupied.
And Vitality taken out. I can't even say fairly early. We're heading towards the 13th minute of this game. Insane quality on the world stage. So many teams still alive. That basically means pandemonium awaits us all. Pain now going in for blue wall melters laid out. But EVOS this time snuffing out your big brothers. The rematch goes to EVOS. Dudes could not save them with a masterful play this time round. Unfortunately, we missed that.
It's not even close. They came from behind and RQ just caught off guard. Falcons and Pain Gaming wrestling for the most important spot in the northern side of the safe zone. Moto VI is positioned very far away to provide cover fire, but it requires the rest of Pain to start and engage. They need an A13 plus that Skylar Riptide Rhythm to do some chaos. Peter does get knocked down, but without any meaningful follow-up, it is not good enough. Peter gets brought back up. Riptide Rhythm was slightly late, and Pain Gaming continues to play this long, drawn-out fight.
Yeah, crazy repositioning here coming through from Pain. Avoiding the battle with Falcons after putting in the initial hurt. Fluxo getting taken out in 10th. This EWC is absolutely insane at this point of time. Pain now focusing on Core Memory. Getting the help from the blue zone as well. Damage has been put on Peter. AC80 looking for those shots. Won't find it. And they finish off Core Memory before they can find their way into the circle. Buriram falters as well. All the big teams go down.
And Falcons will use that distraction to make a rotation straight into AGL and EVOS. And Falcons landing in the middle of the firefight, able to duck into the first floor of the building. EVOS will hold the perimeter, but as the siren sounds one last time, at least for the next safe zone, EVOS most likely will be the first team to make a move, and Falcons, they gotta be ready to accept this.
And this map is known at this point of time as the Brazilian map, but if Pain takes on loss very early on, the chances will dwindle down instantaneously. Look at those grenades rain down on Pain, bringing exactly that to the team members, putting them out in 6th. Now loss, the final team out of Brazil, has to take on both EVOS as well as Falcons, who are absolutely sharp with their positioning right now out there on this Purgatory map.
Remember we talked about how DRG needed to make a necessary rotation, and that has kept them in top 5. The only team without a full squad but this circle is going to force Evos to move. There is a chance that they ended up fighting lost. First, DRG now caught in the middle of the crossfire. Riptide Rhythm from AGAL, and now it breaks into chaos. DRG targeted by multiple teams, wiped out in fifth, and Evos runs towards loss.
And Evos actually taking the outer rotation. This puts them in the crosshairs of Falcons, who do not think twice. Taking those shots, grenades won't find a connection onto Russia. Glue wall melted, remain the defense made here by Evos. But the question is, can they get away? Oscar does run through those glue walls, but brings them no knockdowns just yet. Rigby needs one more shot, but those on his cold shield has got the rate of fire, but the backup from nowhere.
Great valiant dash to break down the defenses of Lost to give Evos a fighting chance. 12 elimination, 13 on the dock, and Russia from afar with almost no HP, willing to fight to the death. AGAL joins the equation and give him a bit of a knuckle sandwich in the face of Evos as AGAL makes themselves known. Evos out in form. AGAL now faces against Falcons.
Lots going in for yet another booyah, but with just a single player, this looks nearly impossible. Falcons up against AGAL. Liu has got the M590 in his hands, but he's not the intended CQC player. Still alive and kicking. He's out of his comfort zone, but still getting the knocks for AGAL, putting Falcons and their team members 6 feet under. But one final one left standing. Limit missing his AWM shot, not doing him any favors at all.
There's going to be a chance for Limit to clutch this. It needs to be able to identify where Dew and Cypher are at. They're currently still running in a straight line. That shot has to connect. A dash in front, Cypher in the face of Limit. Limit is out in the blue. He's just too tough. AGAL will find the first booyah in the grand finals.
Second booyah here at Purgatory for AGAL. Almost became a Brazilian map once again thanks to loss. But they took their chances down by removing Pain Gaming from the equation, and unfortunately for them, that was just way too open of a final circle. Those defenses just didn't work, and Falcons just playing that high ground advantage so well for themselves.
You know what? You know what, AJ? I think the race is officially on. Pack leaders after round number 1 all fell. Evos, AGAL lost. They have risen up. Pain Gaming and even Falcons have got some points for themselves. I think it's fair enough that we're not going to end by round number 4. We do have Carol, who has one of the players with first, so let's check out what they have to say.
Wow, what a performance of Team Falcons this last match. It was almost a booyah. We have watched great action so far here at the grand finals. And of course, I want to hear Team Falcons, are you there? That's what I'm talking about, guys. Let's talk with Limit right now, because Team Falcons crowd are going crazy and they are chanting Falcons, Falcons. I want to know what that means to you. What this kind of love from Team Falcons crowd means to you.
ก็ในฮอนี้นะครับตอนนี้นะฮะทั้งฮอกำลังส่งเสียงกระหึ่มเชียร์ให้ทีมฟาลคอนนะครับก็ถึงแม้ว่าอีกเมื่อกี้เนี้ยอีกเพียงนิดเดียวเราจะได้บูย่าแล้วแท้ๆเชียวอยากทราบว่าเสียงเชียร์ของทุกคนในฮอนี้ตอนนี้ฮะมีผลอะไรกับการยิงของเราบ้างไหมฮะ
คิดว่าไม่ได้มีผลเท่าไหร่ก็เล่นให้เป็นตัวเองแค่นั้น
Actually, all the chanting is like doesn't affect our play style of any time at all. We're just gonna play in our style. We're gonna stick to our own plan and like do the same thing over and over again.
Okay, that's a really good answer. I like to hear that, Limit. And right now, you almost had a booyah. You were so close to got a booyah. And if you could say a word to a team that is about to face you in the next match, what would you
ในที่กำลังแข่งอยู่ตอนนี้บ้างฮะ
ก็ฝากถึงเขาขับให้ละกันครับว่าอย่าเบาๆหน่อยตังเกินหนักเกิน
Actually, there's nothing to tell the team that we are going to face in the next match. But I have something to tell to the fans. Like maybe keep your voice lower for a bit. It's too loud for. It's a little bit too loud for him.
Okay, I don't think they are willing to do that. Once again, Team Falcons, are you there? I'm sorry, Limit. That's how things work here.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much sure you guys at home are very hyped, like we are here on stage. So keep it up with us because we're gonna go for a quick break right now, and we'll be right back.
Triple kill. Double kill.
Hey everyone, it's Yunso.